Hello and welcome to Real Hi-Fi Help. Let's have a look at this speaker review from B&W, the DM602 S3 model. So this is a model that I've had for many years, 12 years, and yeah, let's get into the detail. So you've got this front grille you can take off. I think it looks a lot better with the grille on, but yeah, like any other grill, especially this one actually, it makes the sound warmer and hides a bit of the details. So I feel that in a way that's a good thing with this speaker. So yeah, experiment with that if you ever get this speaker. I've tried them with the original stands and the some stands from some other brand. I can't remember what it's called, X Sound, or I can't remember what it's called. And this is the back terminals, by-wire with the plates that come with the speaker. 120 watts, 8 ohms. Yeah, if you could use that for anything. I find the treble to be bright, flat, unstable, with certain frequency stability issues, but it's still kind of interesting to listen to, but has a lot of glare, you know, that sudden piercing high end where on certain tracks it just gets really annoying very fast without you really expecting it. So it can be a bit temperamental, but I feel that it's just not very accessible, the treble. Mid-range, yeah, very average, I would say. It is better than the worst that I've heard, and there is a certain amount of crispness and focus, which does in on some audio tracks have some appeal. You know, there's a bit of energy somewhere in the mid-range that is kind of interesting, but overall I would say more confusing and dull and not really well put together. So it doesn't really grab your attention and go like, oh, I have to own that speaker. But I have to say that very weird thing about the speaker is when I bought it at the guy who demoed it for me, I mean, it never sounded as good as it did back then, but I also have to be a bit honest and say that I hadn't heard a lot of gear at that point, so that really made a really big positive, you know, made a huge impression on me. And because of that, I bought them, and then I took them home, and it didn't sound nearly as good. And also because I didn't have the level of amplifier, CD player, DAC, and whatever he had back then. I think he had some pretty decent Nate equipment on it, so it's a pretty good fit for Nate gear, especially the older, warmer models. But I did try some gear that was better on it at some point, but it never really got me interested. You know, I think it was more the illusion of not owning the gear that made me really want to own the speaker. It's kind of a funny thing. It just happens in life. You look at something and you say, oh, I can't really afford it, but I really want it. It looks cool. It does this, it does that. Then you actually get to own it, and then it's like, oh yeah, it's a bit like finding out that, you know, Santa Claus doesn't exist, or you just get, you know, you just get disappointed, you know, because you don't really know it. And I just felt that the speaker just overall irritated me mostly. And at times, yeah, there were some small bits of times here and there where I thought that, wow, good sound. But it just, you know, you just quickly got over that, and it just became almost a burden having the speaker. At least that's what I feel. And I just haven't got around to selling it because it just, $300, having to put that up for sale and negotiate with people for that little amount of money. I just almost don't want to do it, just want to like leave it in a closet and just don't use it. It's that bad. But if I had to use it, I found that it just sounded better in these really small rooms, 10 to 17 square meters ish, and where you just played safe music, easy to play music, Hugh Masekela, Dire Straits, Katie Melua. Had some warmish cables, and if you've got, it helps a lot if you have control over your source signal. If you, on top of that, with this speaker, don't have control over your source, it just gets easily really annoying listening to the speaker. But there's this new breed of lower end gear with Denon and Yamaha, where they make some warmish models that are very forgiving in sound. So I feel that if you have gear like that, it's a pretty good fit for a thing like this. But here's the thing, I felt that there were some reverberation issues with the speaker that you could hear on the bass port or whatever port it has, that there's something, some reverberation echoing going on inside that just isn't how it really should be. It's not optimal. I feel that B&W with their newer models, they've fixed that, so it's a lot better. So you don't get those like early B&W model flaws that they had back then. I feel it's more balanced and put together, the sound that they create nowadays. And this gave it some issues, stability issues, where it just would kind of freak out on some few tracks, and it's not really that kind of gear where you can dig for the truth and go deep. You have to kind of numb the sound, create some kind of compromise to get to the end destination that you want to get to. So difficult to work with, and terminals are basically some of the most crap terminals I've ever had in the speaker. But yeah, you can't really say much more than that. I would like to hear the speaker with some Cardas speaker terminals and some Cardas speaker cable. I think that in itself could save the sound a hell of a lot. Or possibly going to that, I think it's called Danny guy from GR Research. I think he could possibly make a filter that's a lot better. Or you can find some dude on eBay probably that would possibly make something that has a filter that's twice as good for almost no money. If you wanna go to that trouble, I just feel that I feel that it's one of those speakers that it has become a bit irrelevant, where the standard of speakers nowadays is just on such a higher level. Two-way speakers have really improved, especially over the last, I would say, 10 years. They've really improved a lot. And it makes this type of generation of speakers, I'm guessing this is from around 1998. I'm just guessing. I really don't know how old this thing is. But you just can't compare it. It's a totally different time. So much has changed. I think we've learned so much generally, that a thing like that just becomes insignificant, obsolete, and yeah, I can understand why a lot of people want to try a lot of lower end gear nowadays, because you're just getting so much more value compared to these I would call this a normal speaker from the olden days in the lower model hierarchy. So but yeah, if you got this speaker for like $100 or $200, I would still say that it's worth a try. It's worth a try for that kind of money. And you can create a good sound, but just realize that it has to be more on the warmish side. And yeah, use some of the tricks that I mentioned. That would probably help a lot. So I hope that helps you guys with this this review. You could possibly create a sound that is more welcoming, smooth, and sweet. So yeah, I hope that helps you guys. Have a nice day. Bye.